Why should people be more interested in shooting film?
I just think that it makes all of the photos mean more. You know, people shoot, and I mean myself too, shoot, a ton of photos on my phone that I don't ever go back and even look at, And the film photos, it's every time you press the shutter, it's like it means more. It's like a moment that you really want to keep forever.
Brooktree Film Lab is a film processing studio. We handle film from photographers all over the country. We get people who send us in their negatives, and we scan them for them, we develop them, and we print out what they want to be printed, mailing them all back to them.
I think shooting film slows you down and really makes the art shine and what your eye says instead of just spraying and praying, hoping you get what you want.
I learned very quickly not to waste my rolls and to take proper exposures, but it's a fun learning curve.
When we see these film scans from people, it's always neat kind of sliding into their shoes and seeing what they're shooting or what they think is important enough to capture. So this process that kind of happens behind the scenes after you click add to cart is really important. We want the customer experience to be good, but we also want our processes to be efficient. So once the film arrives here, it's checked in. We send the customer an email letting them know their film made it here safe and sound. That way they know everything's okay, our hands are on it, it's the Postal Service has given it to us. We begin by cataloging everything. We have little stickers that we put on it that kind of tie the film to the invoice. The film will then be processed by one of us. This is our portable darkroom, so it allows us to work while we're in the light without having to completely black out everything around us. And this next part is just me fumbling in complete darkness for about 2 minutes. So, when the film is on the reel inside of the bag, there's a ratchet mechanism that pulls it all the way around. So we're completely unraveling the roll onto these reels. The best part of this is that I always have no idea where to look while I'm in here. And now for the grand reveal, we have our tank and our empty canisters. This is a liter card. The film is taped to this card, and there's a series of gears inside the machine that engage with it. And it's gonna pull this card through the different baths, through the different chemical baths in the machine before eventually coming out the dryer here on the other end. I have what's called aphantasia, so I can't form a mental image. Most people can close their eyes and picture an apple, or they can picture their parents' faces or their kids' faces. Whenever I close my eyes and try to picture something, it's just black, it's just darkness. And so when I was young and I found out that I had this, I started taking a lot more pictures. We would take disposable cameras on vacations. We would take waterproof ones to Knights Action Park. We would do these things so that way I could look at these pictures and remember what I did, remember where I went. And it became a really powerful tool, and it really showed the impact of photos and how we kind of think back on what came before.
So most of my process, once it lands up here, I grab the film off the rack, an order of paperwork, and then scan it through.
So with drugstores or other large chains, when they get your film in, they send it through on an automatic mode. It doesn't have any human eye on it. It just goes through the scanner and then immediately gets uploaded. What we do is a bit different. We scan each frame individually and review it for color. We want to make sure the sunset is actually yellow. We want the sky to actually be blue and the grass to actually be green.
I don't want to pull like a drugstore kind of moment and just throw it in there, blast it all out, and not actually look at it really at all. Because this is people's stuff and they took the time to take the pictures. Consequently, we should take the time to make it look nice. There's times where most of the stuff's right and you're like, okay, cool. And then the next scene, they're like in a completely different part of the world because they threw the camera in the bag and they forgot about it for 6 months. And then once we're done here, we clip them into segments of 6 where we can here. So obviously the beginning of the strip is not always going to be 6 just because of the burn point. But everything after that should be 6 photos down. In general, we go 6 frames across. And then some people just don't want their stuff back at all. But generally speaking, we cut most of it.
And I started talking around, and my grandmother said she had a film camera sitting around, and she bought it new in 1959. She said she never figured out how to use it, never knew how to work it, just sat on her shelf from 1959 up until 2023. I looked at the back, and it said there were 4 shots already taken. There was a usable photo of my great-grandfather still on his milk route. I had it developed and I was able to see like what was on there. And so it was really cool to be able to take that historical photo that my grandma took in the 59. It's super cool.
We'll make sure all the dust correction is good, make sure the colors in fact do look correct, and then it gets sent out to the customer after that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, you guys have a good day.
You too. We'll see you tomorrow.
All right. Thank you.
I believe that film photography is important today and more important than it probably was yesterday. And I think that it's becoming more and more difficult to trust digital photography anywhere that you see it. The first comment is this real? With film, it's physical. You are holding it. You can see the negative. You can review it on a light tray. You can see the scan. And it's just more tactile that way. It's more real in my mind.